Hi, everyone. Meteorologist Bill Rentschler in the 1011 Hour Streaming Studio. Hope everyone's having a nice Wednesday morning. Temperatures beginning to warm up yesterday, but dew points held in check. But we're going to continue to see temperatures climb as we head into the day today. So jumping into the forecast, we'll break down again a very June-like pattern setting up for us as we head over the course of the next week or so. Yesterday, we topped out at 89 degrees here in the capital city, a couple degrees above average. The low yesterday morning, though, was pretty comfortable in the lower 50s. It was warmer this morning, and going to see some warmer mornings here as we move forward over the course of the next several days, a little bit closer to where we should be. Again, dry yesterday. Again, saw a decent amount of moisture through the first week or so of June, but dry the last couple days at just under 1.25 inches so far this month, but now over 5 inches below normal for our precipitation, liquid precipitation for the year. So again, we have some small chances for rain in the forecast kind of moving forward, but looks like maybe early mid parts of the week next week is when we could see some more beneficial widespread rainfall across the coverage area. So if you look at your weather headlines, today is going to be the hottest day of the year so far. I believe our hottest so far this year is 91 degrees here in the capital city. Double check that real quick here. 91 back on April 28th, and we've hit 90 three other times, twice in May and then once in early June. But today it looks like it's going to be our hottest day of the year. Dew points are going to continue to be increasing as we head over the next several days as well, so you'll also notice the increased humidity. I don't think they're going to be too terrible today, but maybe high enough that we could see some feels like temperatures, heat index values, maybe into the mid to upper 90s across the area, so we'll keep an eye on that. And then, as I mentioned, have some scattered, at least for right now, kind of low-end rain chances as we head over much of the course of the next week. Low temperatures this morning, a lot warmer than they were yesterday morning when it was in the 40s and low 50s. It was upper 50s and low to mid 60s for much of the coverage area early this morning across the Tempest stations here in the Lincoln Metro. It was generally in the mid to upper 60s, even a few spots in the lower 70s. And right now, again, just a few clouds, but plenty of sunshine as we start our Wednesday right now in the capital city just past 9 o'clock. It's already 75 at the studio, 77 at the Lincoln Airport, southwest wind at around 9 miles an hour, and dew point at 61. Again, that's still fairly comfortable, but starting to get at least into the more noticeable range. So that has a feels like temperature of 79 with that added moisture in the air. Temperatures on the Tempest stations across town, generally in the mid-70s here in Lincoln, and temperatures across the state anywhere from the upper 60s to the upper 70s. Again, 77 in Lincoln is one of the warm spots, also 77 in McCook, Lexington, Kearney, and Hastings early this morning. Dew point temperatures, again, these numbers are higher than we've seen, at least for the past couple days, ranging anywhere from the low 50s to the low 60s. And again, this is going to be the trend as these numbers are just going to continue to climb as we head over the next several days. Winds not too bad, and they shouldn't be too bad as we head through the day today, generally out of the southwest at around 5 to 15 miles an hour. And I think overall, again, that's basically where we should see those winds as we head through the day on our Wednesday. We could occasionally see some gusts between 20, 25, maybe up to 30 miles an hour on the high end. Satellite radar picture is pretty quiet. We do have a few scattered showers trying to drift across parts of the Sandhills in north central Nebraska, but overall, again, things are pretty quiet across the state. You zoom out, look at a regional view, not a whole lot happening. We do have a weak disturbance beginning to push across the Dakotas. That's going to bring us a chance for some thunderstorms this evening, particularly for north central and northeastern Nebraska. But I think here in Lincoln, southeastern, south central sections of the state, that we're generally going to stay dry as we head through the day today. You zoom out, look at a national view. Overall, things are pretty quiet for most areas. You look at the weather alerts, there's not a whole lot. Some flood watches down across parts of Texas, some red flag warnings across the Pacific Northwest, wind advisory there for parts of Montana, but here at home, no weather alerts as of yet. Don't expect we'll see anything as we head through the day today. Could end up seeing maybe a watch, severe thunderstorm watch or something, maybe across parts of the Dakotas, parts of maybe north central, northeastern Nebraska later this afternoon and this evening. So skycast as we head through the day today, again expecting mostly sunny skies for the balance of the 10-11 coverage area. As we head into the afternoon and evening, though, we're going to watch for some of those showers and thunderstorms to develop along a weak boundary. Again, across parts of the extreme southern South Dakota, and some of that outflow could spark off some of those thunderstorms in in north central and northeastern Nebraska. As we head into this evening, our in-house model isn't all that bullish on that activity. I think here in Lincoln and southeastern, south central Nebraska, we should generally be dry as we head through this evening into the overnight hours and then into the day on Thursday. Again, looking at another generally dry day. Again, another little kind of surge of moisture is going to try and push up through the southern plains. Again, another kind of weak boundary draped across the Dakotas and the northern plains. So again, we're kind of sandwiched in between those. Generally, looking at dry conditions for especially eastern Nebraska into Thursday afternoon, Thursday evening, but a weak boundary draped across the area. Again, could bring in some isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms for parts of central and western Nebraska Thursday evening. Some of those storms could be on the strong to severe side with some large hail and damaging winds. We'll take a look at that severe weather outlook in just a second. And then as we head into the day on Friday, again, generally looking at dry weather for much of the 10-11 coverage area. There will be showers and thunderstorms that will move off the high plains across parts of eastern Wyoming, eastern Colorado, into parts of western Nebraska as we head Friday afternoon into Friday evening. But that activity is expected to fizzle by the time it would push into central or eastern sections of the state. So the 3-day rainfall outlook, again, has most of it across, again, parts of the Dakotas into Minnesota. Also, again, kind of across the high plains and parts of northeastern Colorado. Again, western parts of the state and northern parts of the state probably stand the best chance to see at least a little bit of moisture over the next couple days. Generally, maybe a quarter to a half an inch at most is what we're looking in south central, southeastern Nebraska. We're really not looking at much, if any, in the way of any moisture as we head over the course of the next 3 days. But if you look at the 7-day precipitation potential, again, as I mentioned, it looks like early to maybe middle parts of the week next week, maybe late next week. There is at least the potential for some more heavier rainfall, more widespread rainfall across much of the coverage area. Again, the 7-day precipitation potential, again, at least as things stand right now, maybe 1 to 2, 1.5 to 2.5 inches of moisture, not out of the realm of possibility for central and eastern parts of the state. So we'll certainly keep a close eye on that and see how that evolves as we head over the next several days. As far as the severe weather outlook today, there is a marginal risk, again, across north central, northeastern Nebraska. So again, hail and wind would be the primary threats if we do get a few thunderstorms to develop later this afternoon and this evening. Also have that marginal risk across much of Wyoming, parts of Idaho and Montana for the day tomorrow. That marginal risk kind of stretched across central and western sections of the state, Lincoln, southeastern parts of south central Nebraska, not under that marginal risk. So again, I think we're generally going to stay dry, but there is at least the threat for tomorrow along a weak boundary for maybe an isolated strong to severe thunderstorm. And again, large hail and damaging winds would be our primary threats with that. And then that severe weather threat basically stays across the high plains areas as we head into the day on Friday with a marginal and slight risk for severe weather for the day on Friday. So if we zoom in, take a closer look, statewide view through the day today, again, sunny to mostly sunny skies for a lot of us with that south and southwest wind. A few thunderstorms in north central, northeastern Nebraska aren't out of the realm of possibility later this afternoon into this evening. And then as we head tonight into the day on Thursday, again, we're still looking at mostly sunny skies for much of the region, but again, a weak boundary draped across kind of central and western Nebraska could be the focus for a few additional showers and thunderstorms, some of which could be strong to severe. Looks like the best chance, again, would kind of be north central Nebraska down towards the southwestern corner of the state. And then into the day on Friday, again, we're looking at maybe a little bit more cloud cover. And at least a small chance for some moisture, but most of it would likely stay across the high plains, western and southwestern Nebraska as we head through the day on Friday. Now, temperatures are going to be probably the bigger story as we head over the next couple of days. Like I mentioned, today is going to be the hottest day of the year so far for much of the 10-11 coverage area. Again, we're looking at readings into the mid-90s across much of eastern and central sections of the state and southwestern Nebraska. Just a touch cooler on the other side of that weak boundary for north central and northwestern Nebraska, where temperatures will be in the 80s to right around 90 degrees. And certainly wouldn't be surprised if maybe some areas did overperform today and maybe got to the upper 90s. And again, when we factor in those dew points maybe into the lower 60s this afternoon, those feels like temperatures could approach the upper 90s at times as we head into the afternoon. So again, all in all, I think it's going to be an excellent day for the local pools and area pools. They should be pretty busy with some of the warmer temperatures. And again, dew points that aren't going to be too oppressive, but we may just notice a little bit of that humidity as we head through the day today. So then low temperatures tonight into Thursday morning. Looks seasonal to maybe a few degrees degrees above average. We're going to go upper 50s to mid upper 60s. Or high temperatures then on Thursday are just a touch cooler, but we're still looking at above average readings in the upper 80s and low 90s across much of the state for the day on your Thursday. Thursday night into Friday, again, upper 50s to low to mid 60s for many areas. Friday afternoon, again, maybe a touch cooler again, but we're still looking at highs generally in the mid to upper 80s to right around 90 degrees for much of the coverage area. Saturday morning, again, same story, low to mid 60s for many areas. Saturday afternoon, again, mid to upper 80s to right around 90 degrees for our temperatures. Sunday morning, again, mid to upper 60s for much of central and eastern Nebraska. Sunday afternoon, again, upper 80s and low 90s again. So we can see a pretty prolonged stretch there of some summertime temperatures, and again, really our first really a prolonged stretch of some of the warmer temperatures that we've seen so far this summer. So we do have that weather alert day for the day today. Again, just kind of our first foray into the summertime conditions. Just want to make sure everyone, again, takes it easy. Again, sometimes when we have those first days that are really hot, really humid, we forget how easily how quickly we can get dehydrated. So again, if you're going to be outside, especially this afternoon, make sure you're taking breaks, drinking plenty of water, finding some air conditioning, and again, just cooling off, especially again this afternoon during the peak heating hours between 2 and about 5 o'clock. And then again, we can see on that 7-day forecast, basically small chances. We're going to go 20% basically every day, Thursday through the weekend and early next week, for at least some maybe isolated showers and thunderstorms. So that'll be something that we keep an eye on, especially through the Father's Day weekend. Looks like temperatures cool back slightly, back to more seasonal levels by Tuesday next week, with highs in the mid-80s and a 30% chance for showers and thunderstorms. 10-day forecast. Again, this takes us basically through the middle part of the month of June. Looks very June-like for us, with highs generally in the 80s to right around 90 degrees. Today, probably the warmest day, at least over the next week to 10 days, with those highs in the mid to maybe even approaching upper 90s for parts of central and eastern Nebraska. Dew point temperatures, again, I think the number in Lincoln probably a little bit higher than that for the day today, but you can see the overall trend. Those dew point numbers just kind of slowly increasing as we head through the week into the weekend, and certainly looks like much of the week next week we could see some pretty muggy conditions with those dew point temperatures potentially reaching the upper 60s to even lower to middle 70s. So again, the hot and humid conditions, well, again, it's going to be hot and maybe a little bit on the humid side today. The hot and humid conditions are certainly in store for us sooner rather than later, and at least with the 10-day forecast, it looks like maybe early and middle parts of the week next week could get pretty muggy and pretty gross when we combine those upper 80s temperatures with those dew points into the 60s and 70s. Rain chances over the course of the next 10 days, again, we're most areas generally dry today, and then really low-end chances for moisture basically every day over the course of the next 10 days. We'll keep an eye on, again, early to mid parts of the week next week, potentially for some more widespread heavier rainfall across the area. Again, especially I think middle next week is when we could see that long-range models do have that potential, but again, that's still a long ways out in the forecast. So again, a lot can change between now and then, so we'll keep an eye on that. 8 to 14-day temperature outlook taking us from June 18th through June 24th continues to favor above average temperatures across much of the region, favors above average precipitation for extreme eastern Nebraska, but also then favoring below average precipitation for western sections of the state. So again, the big thing today is going to be the heat. Humidity is not going to be terrible, but it will be at least noticeable. So again, like I said, if you're going to be out and about, just make sure you're staying hydrated, drinking plenty of water, and taking some breaks inside in the shade. Again, don't want anyone to have any heat related illnesses, especially those folks who might be a little bit more vulnerable to the heat and to some of the humidity. So just want everyone to bear that in mind. And again, as always, keep it tuned to 1011 both on air and online for all the latest forecast details. Things should be fairly quiet for us over the course of the next couple of days, but again, we'll keep an eye on those rain chances, especially as we head into your Father's Day weekend. So appreciate everyone for tuning in and watching as always. Hope everyone stays cool today and hope everyone has a nice Wednesday, and we'll see you next time.